something very rare. You have wonder. You have mystique. You have magic.
Each of the DNA lenses has a characteristic. They have an inherent sort of, not a softness, but they're gentle, you know. They're very beautiful lenses and they have a beautiful fall off. And, you know, because with the digital image, you know, I think as cinematographers, most of us are sort of trying to break that down a little bit, you know, by using anamorphics, or I use atmosphere, I use flare, I use anything to sort of break the cleanness and flatness of that image down a bit. And these lenses take you a long way down that path. That's why I like them. There were certain lenses which I adored. We had a 60mm. You know, we used it for close-up work because it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The 45 was our sort of lens of choice for most of the pictures. Tim Burton film, so he likes to shoot pretty wide and close. You know, so that was a great lens because it was a wide and close. It had a lovely fall off, but it didn't have any sort of wide-angle artifacts. You know, there was no distortion, so you could put it close to someone's face and they wouldn't sort of do that. So I really liked that lens. We had a 28, which I really liked, but it was a bit soft around the edges in it. So on some shots I wouldn't use it because I felt I needed, you know, there was visual effects work to be done or whatever, so I couldn't. It was a bit too much. In hindsight, again, I would test those far more thoroughly and I'd put together a set. You know, it may be that in some of the lens ranges you need to carry two of them because one has one characteristic, one has another. But they're beautiful lenses for that, you know. I think there are things to be learned from them, and I definitely would want to shoot with them again. I've learned about them on this film, you know, basically. I think the 65 takes you up to a level where you're matching the resolution of film when it's projected big. Depending on what happens with it once you've shot it is very important. That's why I like it. I like the fact that when I first heard about it, I was worried, well, is it just going to be sharper and more electronic? You know, are you going to be fighting that? But actually, it's the opposite. It feels a lot more like a sort of film negative to me than the smaller format cameras. I think it has a beautiful fall off in the shadows, which I think really helps. It doesn't, you know, it tails off beautifully into the shadows, which I really like, and the highlights. And I think that gives it a much more sort of filmic quality. For me, it's mostly about faces. I mean, I come from a stills background. I take a lot of stills, and if I was doing portraiture, I generally try and work large format because it's just beautiful what that does to a face, you know, and there's a proximity you get with large format which you can't achieve with a smaller format. And so what I love about the 65 is the close-up, because it's like a study of a face becomes like a map. It's beautiful, and you don't get that on the smaller formats. You know, the human face is what we, you know, as human beings, what we do when I'm here talking to you, we look at this. That's where everything comes from. You know, when you're from the sort of cradle, you know, for babies, that's what they, you know, it's all about the human face. So why not shoot it large format?